What it do, YouTube? It's SS, and I'm back with another video on this one right here. This one right here. Well, let me tell you about this one. If it looks a little bit blurry, my bad, my bad. That is my bad. This is a VOD. This is a Twitch VOD that I got from my Twitch because the video that I ended up recording the battles on was corrupted, so I was unable to do anything with the video. Unfortunate. So I did have to download the VOD and chop it up from there. I do believe this is a very strong team, as you guys will see here in the very first battle. And I didn't even choose this; I just did it by random. I just picked the three random sets. Didn't even know how the first game went, but yeah, Jellison made Venusaur top left. As you guys will see, these are three sets. I do believe it's 4-1, 4-1, 3-2. Uh, I think the last two sets I did in my Go Battle Day that was done on my Go Battle Day yesterday. Um, I went 2-3. I ended up with two threes, and those were probably the only two negative sets that I had with this team. Other than that, I went from 2,300 all the way to 2,600. I almost made it to expert. I was almost at 2,700. I think I was at 2,677 for, and then I dropped. But yeah, very strong team. Battles were done on my Twitch. Link in the description if you want to do follow and watch them happen in real time as they do happen. I am recording this an hour before I do go live, so if you watch this as it drops, you will. If you go to the Twitch, you probably will see me streaming. I will be streaming this, hopefully pushing for expert. If I do hit expert, you guys will see the video tomorrow. Um, but yeah, don't know anything else to say other than like, comment, subscribe if you like the video. Um, Subbing would definitely help out the channel grow some more, especially if we can get to that 500 goal, which you know will kind of motivate me to probably make more videos. Uh, but I am trying to make more videos as we do Sludge Wave, a Pelipper, and take that win. I am trying to drop a little bit more videos, but it is hard when I don't win and when you can't make teams work. Um, but with that being said, let's go ahead and hop into these battles. And I am gonna shield the power whip. As you guys saw me, I'm gonna make sure to throw on very good timing here. I do throw on very good timing because I get the dig off and I make it to the aerial ace before they're able to throw their second power whip, forcing them to throw up a shield, but they don't throw up a shield, which is pretty good for me. And then I try to catch here, and they actually don't go for the catch, and this is actually really good for me because if that for alligator would have stayed in to throw energy at my Jellicent, I would have had to sack my Jellicent, which I'm still doing right here. But the thing is, it's different now because now that I see this Gavantula, I'm actually able to ring in my Gligar here. And now I have the alignment that I want, which they actually ended up helping me out. Um, and I end up getting denied here. I was one away from the dig. Now I if I actually would have made it to the move, I wouldn't have had to take that move there. They swamp out onto there for alligator, but for alligator, it's just gonna go ahead and get hit with these poison gems. Unfortunate for them, they don't have crunch. They are gonna just be throwing hydro cannons. Hydro cannons are starting to add up, as you guys can see. They come back into the Gavancho because that's the last Pokemon. I am gonna go ahead and shield this because it's the cap tie, the bap tie, as we like to call it. CMP tie or however you guys call it, charge move priority, charge attack priority. Um, as we do hop into the next battle, we're gonna see Gligar into the Gliscopod, and this is actually really good for the Gligar. And once again, this is a team that I used it yesterday for the first time. I've always used Gligar, Jellicent Core. If you guys watch my videos with Dunsparce, you will see that I always use the Gligar, Jellicent Core because I do believe that they're really good pairing. Um, and since they're both not banned here, it gives me more reason to actually use them. As we do see them come into a Sable Eye, which is pretty fine with me. I'm gonna get farmed down, but this is not looking good. I thought there were two away. I'm gonna have to shield now because I need to get this energy off. I expect them to not shield, so I go for the undercharge here, trying to get some energy here. And I do get a little bit of energy, and because of that, I'm able to make it to the aerial ace, forcing them to probably throw up a shield. They do throw up a shield, and now the thing is, we don't have any more shields, so it's 0 shield Toxapex versus 1 shield Frostlass. Granted, the Frostlass is a little bit low already, so maybe we can probably do something here. And as you guys saw, we were still in the greens. I don't expect this to be enough to KO. And I don't expect them to be able to farm me down. And I don't think that they would make it to a move before I make it to the brine. And lucky for us, we are able to make it to the brine. One more poison jab to take it out, and we are going to actually be able to win that game. As we do see a bad lead here, I am going to switch out into my Jellicent. They swap out into Feraligatr. I am going to go ahead and bait the Feraligatr, expecting them to shield, but they actually don't shield, which is actually really, really awkward and weird for me. Um, I am gonna have to farm up a little bit extra. They throw on bad timing, giving me a free bubble, which is really good for me. And I'm expecting them to throw Hydro Cannon because they would have threw Crunch if they had it. Um, so and because I'm actually able to live it, rank one Jellicent, by the way, uh, able to live it, get the Shadow Ball, throw the Shadow Ball, and get the shield. They are gonna start Hydro Cannon here because we know that they don't have Crunch. So I am just gonna go ahead and let it go through. As you guys can see, they start adding up, but Toxapex is actually a pretty good hard wall to for Alligator here, as they do swap out into the Napoleon, and this is actually looking really bad for me because I needed the win swap, and unfortunately, because I didn't win swap, not gonna end up winning. As you do see the Blossom little emotes floating around. That's how I have it on stream. Once again, these battles were I just because the video was corrupted, so I wasn't able to get the battle. So I would download the VOD. So that's why you see that. If you guys are wondering, uh, if you made it up to this point, let me know. Say it in the comments. You saw the Blossom emote floating around. But anyways, either ways, I am just gonna go ahead and sludge wave the Empoleon just because I know this is a hard loss and we're gonna end up losing. But lucky for us, as we do love to see, keep looking at the good effort screen. I am gonna go 4-1 here. I do believe it's 4-1, 4-1, 3-2. But like I said, I only had like 2 negative sets, and those were the last 2 sets I did. So I'm expecting today to go a little bit better, as we do get the reverse skis here on the Gligar. Thank you, Niantic. You guys would. Now we're gonna see a very good lead here, and they are gonna switch out into a main team. And I started doing this a little bit later on. I started throwing the wing attack and then hoping I could try to catch uh the water pulse or ice beam. And unfortunately for me, it doesn't work out here. Expecting them to not shield. So they are gonna go ahead and not shield, which is really good for me. Now they come into a carbine. I make sure I'm throwing on good timing, hoping I can make it to at least one more move. And they do end up shielding, which is pretty good for me, but I don't make it to a move, which is pretty bad for me. Now I am gonna come into Toxapex here just because I want to keep the Gligar for the Annihilate, and I'm just gonna go straight Brian here. This might have been a CMP tie. I don't think I saw a rock go through, and it didn't go through. So, now we are gonna be able to farm up extra. I'm expecting them to catch. I wasn't expecting them to catch, but I was expecting them as I am watching the video. Wow, that was such a obvious catch, and I let that happen. Wow, shows you how bad I was playing. Um, But yeah, if I was actually playing a lot better, I probably would have had a lot more wins. Um, as we do see a Mantine into the Gligar, and that time I did not throw a move. I actually just ended up trying to catch. And the reason I did that was because in the last game you saw me play it differently, right? I threw the move and then did one and then try to catch. Unfortunately, since that didn't work, I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna go up to 7 and then catch. But that also didn't work, and now I'm met with this greeting, and I am gonna go ahead and go straight for the surf here. Um, They do get the shield. They let me get a free move. I am gonna go ahead and shield this. It is just the body slam. Unfortunate for me, I am gonna go ahead and throw the surf. They do get KO'd. They come back into the man team. Man team's gonna throw the aerial ace and take my Jellicent out here. I'm gonna come into Toxapex. They switch out into Steelix. I'm gonna make sure I'm throwing on pretty good timing here, which it looks like I did. The dig is gonna come off. Try to make sure I'm throwing on good timing again and over farm, knowing that a breaking swipe and a psychic fangs is not gonna be enough to KO. But they end up top left and then end up giving me the game as we do see a bad lead this time. And I'm gonna over farm here. They throw in bad timing, giving me a free wing attack, which I love to see. I'm gonna do one end throw for good timing and see what they want to do. They let it go through. Now I'm gonna try to catch on Toxapex, and I do end up catching on Toxapex. So now they don't have any energy here. They are going to be able to make it to a Shadow Ball. I'm just gonna go ahead and let it go through. So you guys can know Toxapex is super tanky, and they come out into Steelix. And now at this point, I'm gonna be able to throw the Brine. Brine did some good damage there, and I try to throw in good timing. They throw in bad timing, which is okay with me. And I don't expect to live that Dragon Tail there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the move right away. Because if I did one, I would get KO'd with the move. So it's just better to throw right away, which ended up working out for me. And now they are going to come into a Ninetales, expecting them to shield here at this point. So I do go for a bait, switch out, knowing that at my defense is lowered. I'm going to make sure to throw on good timing and get the dig off. No reason for me to bait this time. We're going to try to make it to another dig. We do make it to another dig. At this point, it's going to be able to take out the Golden Ninetales, and Jellison comes back in 1-2 wing attacks. It's going to be enough to KO. As we do see another Mantine in the lead up against our Gligar, and this is super bad for me to see how we play it out this time. And this time we actually end up doing actually catching the water pulse on are Jellison as they do swap out into a Magnus Zone. I'm expecting them to over farm, so I do go for the bait here, and they do end up shielding the bait, which is good for me. They let me get to another move here, and they end up shielding, which is really good for me. So they're down shields, and I'm expecting them to go for the wild charge here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shield, and since this is CMP, I'm just gonna be able to get rid of this Magnezone. Now I can switch out into my Toxapex. They come into Annihilate and they just end up top lefting. And yeah, we're gonna be able to take that game as we do hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Mantine up against Gligar. There's so many Mantine leads. It was crazy. Once again, we're gonna try to do the same thing. We do end up doing the same thing, catching, but this time they end up baiting, and this time they're actually going to go ahead and stay in. What it looks like. And this is really bad for me because since they baited, they got a lot of energy here, and they do end up shielding the Shadow Ball, which is really not good for me. As you guys can see, these wing attacks are starting to add up with these aerial aces. Make sure I need to shield again. Oh man, this is super bad. Uh, I am gonna get the shadow ball off to see what they want to do here. Do they want to shield? They do want to shield. Now at this point, I'm gonna try to make it to another shadow ball, but they don't let me. Even if I would have baited, I wouldn't have made it to the shadow ball. They wouldn't have let me. So I'm just gonna come into Toxapex. They swap out into a Gligar, and I should have known that they were baiting out my Gligar, and I go to my Gligar, trying to catch a dig, but they knew that I was gonna try to catch a dig, so they went for the aerial ace. Should have stayed in. Should have just stayed in. And now they are going to be able to make it to an aerial ace. Well, try to farm down completely, but I don't get the farm down. Now I am gonna go ahead and get the farm down with Toxapex, and then let's see, they come into Annihilate, and this is unfortunately, I don't think this is gonna be, yeah. Brian is just a weak move. And I do, yeah, they're just gonna outpace me here, make it to a nice slash, and just gonna be enough to take me out. Even an ice punch at this range would probably be enough to take me out, as we do end up losing, going 4-1 once again, and getting a Frillish for encounter. Um, I got up to the high 2600s. I don't know if I said that already. Go bat in the lead up against our Gligar, and they're gonna go for the move here. I'm expecting it to be the Shadow Ball, but apparently I wasn't expecting it to be the Shadow Ball. I was thinking it was gonna be the Poison Fang as I'm watching the video, but for some reason I end up shielding, making the wrong call. I'm gonna try to catch the Shadow Ball because they were gonna throw the Shadow Ball regardless. Here they do throw the Shadow Ball. They come into a Quagsire. We bait out the Quagsire. Um, we are going to be able to get a brine off. At this point, I'm just going to go ahead and let this go through. Most of them are running Aqua Tail, but this one has Mud Bomb. Okay, very convenient. I am going to charge up the brine up to an excellent. They are going to be able to farm me down completely. Kind of sucks. I am going to go ahead and let this go through. Probably the Stone Edge, but it's just a Mud Bomb. And now at this point, I'm going to try to catch. No, don't catch. Gonna go ahead and shield. They keep mud bombing me. They throw another move here. Another mud bomb. Not too sure what they're doing here. Since they throw another mud bomb, I'm able to farm down completely. They come into a Tentacruel, and Tentacruel is gonna get hit with one Shadow Ball. I'm at another Shadow Ball gonna be able to be taken out. And now I am gonna go ahead and switch out. They come into the Gold Bat. Gold Bat is going to be able to make it to a Shadow Ball, which is not good for me. They make it to a Poison Fang. Poison Fang is going to be enough to take me out. And we're gonna actually end up losing this game. Man, it looked good for me for a second. Unfortunately, I played it pretty bad. Um, if I played it a lot better, I probably would have won a lot more games, to be honest. First time running the team, so that's kind of what happens. We are gonna get hit with a dark pulse. Make sure to time my moves correctly. Get another aerial ace off here. We're try to catch the next one here after I shield. Uh, am I gonna throw another move? I am gonna throw another move. Trying to get the shield here. Probably do one and then try to catch on Toxapex, which we end up catching on Toxapex, which is really good for me. Now they are gonna hit me with the Dark Pulse. They switch out into a Thunder Fang Steelix, and now I'm like, what? They got to the move super fast. Or did I get to the move super slow? Either or. We do get the brine off, but this is non-shadow, so it's not gonna do as much as I want it to do. Now I am gonna be able to make it to another brine, which is really good for me. Some more chip damage. Now I have to come into Jellison here. I gotta let this go through. If it's crunch, it's crunch. But they go for the psychic things. And now I'm hoping I can actually make it to this surf. I make it to the surf before they make it to another move. Throw it, KO, they swap, they come into a superior, and I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. So at this point, I am gonna go ahead and shield this. No. Oh man, this is super risky. Shield this shadow ball here. No, I lose this, right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, Friendship Plan is gonna be enough to take us out, even though they could have just aerial aced us. We're gonna end up losing that game as we do hop into the next battle. We're gonna see Steelix up against Gligar. And this is supposed to be a good lead for the Gligar. They swap out into a Sableye, and I don't have an answer to the Sableye, so I have to stay in here. And now I am gonna go ahead and shield this. They're only gonna make it to one move here because I am gonna be able to farm down completely. I do get the farm down completely now. They are thinking about what they're gonna do. They come into the Feraligatr. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the dig right before they make it to a move. Trying to make it to another move. I do make it to another move. See what they want to do here. They give me the shield, and I'm like, okay, at this point, I'm just gonna go ahead and let this go down. Thought about swapping out, but no, I think this is the better play, staying in, and another Thunder Fang Steelix. We're gonna actually get our revenge here. This time it's Shadow. We're gonna go ahead and let this go through. Whatever. They do end up doing Psychic Fangs. I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through again. Toxapex is just gonna be able to farm this down with some more poison jabs. we are going to be able to no shield this, and I just need to make it to the sludge wave. I make it to the sludge wave. They top left on the charge move, and now we are gonna see Jellicent up against. There's so many bad leads for the Gligar, but I try to make them works. And once again, they do end up letting me throw in good timing, which very surprisingly, because they usually throw in 4 or 7. I am gonna be able to make it to the aerial ace here, forcing them to shield. I am gonna swap out now. They come into a Dewgong. This is actually looking eh. They do drill run me, which I expect them to, but Toxapex is so tanky. It just can live 2. They're gonna need another one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and let this go through. Ice shards are resisted. Make sure to throw on good timing. Gotta go ahead and throw the sludge wave. Not expecting them to shield. They don't shield. They come into annihilate. Swap out, knowing I got 2 answers. They come into the jealous. I'm gonna go ahead and let this go through. We live it. Nice. I don't know why they didn't serve. Maybe they wanted the farm. But either way, gonna be able to go ahead and let this go through. Expecting them to throw the nice slash. They do throw the nice slash. And now we are sitting really good. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the surf here. Uh, Surf is gonna be enough to KO at this point. Gonna go ahead and shield this, even if it's a nice slash. It's okay with me. But it is the shadow ball. Just gonna go ahead and throw the surf enough to KO and take the game. As we do hop into the next battle and the last final battle, I do believe. Um, as we are gonna see a Alolan Ninetales into the Gligar, and this is really bad for me. I'm gonna go ahead and go for the bait here, expecting them to shield, and they do shield. So now, since they shielded, I am gonna go ahead and shield as well. One away from the dig, throwing on good timing. Make it to the dig, see what they want to do. They no shield this, or no, they shield it. They're gonna be able to farm it down completely. They're gonna make it on 1 HP to a side shocks. I am gonna have to take that. Swap out into Quagsire. At this point, they didn't even go up to the Shadow Ball. Just gonna go ahead and throw the Shadow Ball at this point. Get it out the way. And now they're gonna come into their Quagsire. I'm gonna go ahead and shield this. Do one and throw. Get the Shadow Ball off. We did shield the Stone Edge, which was really good for me. Just need to make it to the Surf. Make it to the Surf on bad timing. Throw it. Gonna be enough to KO, and we're gonna be able to take that game to go 3-2. So as you guys can see, even with Gligar seeing Mantine, Jellicent, we can still pull it off. We can still win. Hard counters, hard counters. But yeah, hope you guys liked the video. If you guys liked the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz, and I will see you guys on the next video.